Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Christine Rutner, and I'm with the marketing team at Lightspeed. And I'd like to welcome you today to the Brunswick Dealer Advantage webinar on finding hidden cash in your parts and service department. If you can go to the next slide. Just a couple of housekeeping items just to let you know. We do have a panel of individuals on that can help answer questions. So if you have any questions, please use the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen. As you all have heard, the webinar is being recorded. Towards the end of the week, I will have a link to the recording, any FAQs, and a copy of the presentation deck available to you. It'll be sent to your email where you can look back on all of this information, share with colleagues, or let us know if you have any additional questions that we can help answer. I'd like to go ahead and introduce you to Rob Grant, who will be our presenter today.
Thanks, Christine. Appreciate the opportunity, and thanks for joining us, everybody online. Just, to start off, just thought we would spotlight for those new Lightspeed dealers or dealers that may not be, part of the Lightspeed family already. We do have a special promotion available for our Brunswick Dealer Advantage partners. And so just thought we would spotlight that. This can be accessed either on our website as well as on the Brunswick Dealer Advantage site. And so if you do have questions, feel free to reach out. And we also would like to just recognize that we do have Gina Petzel on with us today from Brunswick Dealer Advantage, and appreciate her joining us. And as we open up for questions at the end of the session, feel free to chime in, and we'll look forward to talking more then. Just by way of introduction, again, as Christine had mentioned, I am Rob Grant. I'm the Associate Director here of OEM Business Development for our marine side of the business. I've been in the industry for 30 plus years at this point. Started out working at local dealership, running parts and service, and then moved and migrated over to Lightspeed, and have now been with Lightspeed for 24 years. Reside here in Salt Lake City and really enjoy, playing and being in the outdoors with my family. A couple of old snapshots there, in my younger days, and thought I could share those. But I look forward to talking more with you today about ways that we can find hidden cash within your dealerships, within the parts and service departments specifically. So as we look at what we're going to cover today, really looking to focus on three core items: service warranty claim tracking, parts inventory, and specifically the escalators and managing the pricing on your inventories, and then integrations. Here we do have integrations with MercNet Easy Parts, the EPC. We've got integrations with parts ordering, both with, say, Mercury as well as, say, Land and Sea and others. And then we have parts availability available. And so we'll touch base on those. And then finally, we'll wrap up the session, with some Q&A. So today we're going to try to keep this, simple. We'll try to keep it within a 30-minute period, and then opening it up at the end for a Q&A. So without further ado, we will jump into what is Lightspeed. And so really Lightspeed, this is a slide, and there's a link there to our website that kind of gives you an idea for those that may or may not be as familiar with Lightspeed. But I like to think of it as the gift of automation. And so really, as we think about ways that we can increase our revenue, increase the profitability for our departments, for our organizations, our dealerships, really having a tool in place that can automate a lot of those processes is key and critical. And so that is where Lightspeed comes into play. And so, Luminous Swift here is our persona of, Lightspeed and the value that Lightspeed can bring to your dealership and business. And so a lot of times as we get going throughout the day, it's hard to get, or easy to get, caught up in the day-to-day, interactions, the firefighting and so forth that you're dealing with. And so that is where we like to try to automate a lot of those processes. And so as we go through the conversations today, that is really that is going to be the focus of what we want to look at. And I liked this quote from Benjamin Franklin. It said, "Beware of little expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship." And so as we do think about our businesses, our dealerships, when we're looking at, our service departments and parts departments especially, there are lots of different areas that if we have a little bit of a leak, we're not following through on what those processes might look like or might be happening within the dealership. There is that opportunity that we're going to be losing revenue. And it may not seem large at the time, but those small pieces really make a difference to the organization. And so I do like that quote and wanted to include that today. So now, without further ado, we will go ahead and jump into service warranty tracking. As I reflected back on my time at the dealership and working the parts, being the service writer and service manager at the marine dealerships here in Salt Lake City, warranty was one of those processes that, if not given the right amount of focus, is easy to essentially lose potential money and revenue for the business. And so, really, when we think about the benefits that you can get from really having that focus, knowing and tracking the detail of each job that is completed, that is really one of those key areas. And so, having the tools in place to be able to generate the repair orders, having those repair orders track your parts, your labor, and any shop supplies, et cetera, that might be included with those, that is one of the key benefits and one of the key things that you do need to look at. And so ensuring that you have those internal processes in place, that your technicians are tracking that detail and adding that to the repair order of each individual job. And specifically in this case, those warranty jobs. So when you go ahead and process those warranty claims, you're going to have that detail and you're not going to miss out on any of those parts that might have been included or should have been included within the billing. And so having that updated by the technicians is a key process really within your dealership. So really encourage you to take a look at and to make sure you do train appropriately your technicians, as well as your parts counter people, as well as your service writers. Now, with that said, also, really the submission side of it and tracking when the parameters within your OEMs and what their warranty requirements, making sure that you do get those warranty claims submitted in a timely manner. And so really within Lightspeed, having that capability and the abilities to have those warranty claims processed and entered in is going to be a key critical feature for you. So when we look at that capability, having the right tools in place to be able to track that, we'll take a look at what that process is within Lightspeed here in a few minutes, and then be able to go ahead and offer some additional suggestions. Finally, when it comes to after you've submitted those claims, just making sure that you're actually able to receive those payments and recording those payments. There's a lot of money, money that can be lost within that process. And so just wanting to make sure that you have all of those details accounted for and that you are getting that appropriate credit back from your manufacturers. And so those are a couple of pieces that, we'll really look at here as well, is making sure that you do have that visibility on what has been submitted, but then also what is being paid. And then finally, if there are short payments made, either making that conscious decision to go ahead and accept that short payment or come up with, additional information to go back to the OEM on and request additional funds to be made. So like you mentioned, we will take a look at that here shortly. And when we look at the opportunities around the warranty claim process in general, looking at it really in a bucketed perspective, and apologize here, there's really three buckets that I like to look for. So after we've done the work, we've gone ahead and processed the repair order, that then should be processed and jump into this needing submission bucket. And so within Lightspeed, we'll take a look at this here in just 1 minute. There is this need submission, and that is essentially a list of warranty claims that need to be submitted to the manufacturer. So whether that be, printed, copied, or otherwise, or whether that be, submitted online through the dealer portals, that is a process that needs to be taken care of. And then within Lightspeed, you will be able to account for that submission. Once that is sitting out there, you flag that warranty claim as being processed, and then you're able to then go ahead and view those claims and follow up with those claims accordingly. Now, having that ability now to see those claims in a single, easy fashion, you will be able to track the payments that come back for those. And so having that ability then to review any additional requests from the manufacturer, whether that be jobs, whether that be return parts, and so forth, that is all information that can be visible within that warranty claim list. And then finally, the third bucket really is that bucket of all of those claims that you have processed, you've received payment for, and now they are there for your history and for referential purposes down the road. So again, those are three core buckets as we look at the process within Lightspeed and being able to manage that warranty claim process to ensure that you're not missing out on any of that warranty claim revenue that the shop may have participated in or completed. So I'm going to switch over now to Lightspeed. I will pull this up here, and we'll take a look at what that process looks like from within. And so under the estimates and repair orders, this is going to be your open list of repair orders that you have in process at any point in time. Now, as these repair orders are completed and as they are invoiced and cashiered, that then transfers any of those warranty jobs over to your warranty claims list. And so when we go into that warranty claims list, mention those three buckets. And so this is key for that tracking process as we take a look at what might be happening. So when we look at, say, if we're looking at our Mercury claims possibly, or any of our others, those would be listed in this initial bucket, which again is those claims waiting to be submitted to the manufacturer. So as we go into one and we actually have submitted that online, we've printed it out, we've provided whatever documentation is being required by that warranty company or by that manufacturer, we are then able to flag that as being processed. So once again, that is submitted to the manufacturer in this case. We are simply now, we've processed it, we've done our work on our side, and we are simply waiting for the warranty claim credit or additional feedback from the manufacturer. So again, I hit that processed, I click save. That then would update it and move that over now into our second bucket. And so this showed process bucket is now those that have been submitted and we are waiting for the payments. And so as we track the payments and as we get those warranty credits, you're notified by either your accounting department or otherwise, this is where you would want to come back into that warranty claim, and you will be able to see what was originally submitted. And then at this point, you're able to then enter in any paid amounts that came back on that warranty credit. So if we had originally submitted, in this case, $850 for some sublet repairs that were done, and maybe there was only $500 of that was paid back. And so at that point, you then have additional information or have additional decisions to make based on, do I go back to the manufacturer and request the additional $350 and provide whatever it might be, or do I go ahead and accept what we accepted there? And so this is, again, something that is key and critical for your tracking and just to ensure that you're not missing out on any of the additional revenue or funds that you are due. And in this case, you'll also notice that we have previously been paid that $600 out of that $850. And so when I come back in, again, I either have that balance of $250 and maybe that's what they paid back, or I could go ahead and if I'm going to write that off, I simply would put in that $250. That then resolves this down to a $0 balance. And if we are good with writing that amount off, we hit the resolve and we hit save. That then migrates that warranty claim over into that final and third bucket, which again is that resolved and essentially our historical record of all of those warranty claims that we've previously processed. And so, again, that is one way to be able to ensure that you don't have any of those leaks happening. Within that process, it's real easy to miss a warranty claim. And if you were to look back at your average repair order and your average warranty claims, there's a large potential for lost revenue there if those claims are not getting tracked and processed, as well as those payments being recorded. And so again, this allows you that capability to be able to run and manage your warranty process and that warranty claim cycle within your dealership. So now if we go back, I'll jump back into the presentation. Finally wanted to touch base on a couple of things as far as keys to success. So as we look at opportunities that we have, really setting aside that time each week to review those outstanding claims. As I was working in the dealership environment, that was really critical. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day that making a conscious decision to sit down and set time aside for processing these claims and following through with those is critical for the dealership. Also, I like to do a quarterly review for warranty policies, looking at your warranty labor rates, your parts allowance rates, your picture requirements, your part return requirements, your pre-approval requirements. As time to time, OEMs will change those and update them. And so taking time each quarter to go through and review and just ensure that you're up to speed on the latest requirements for each of those manufacturers is critical. Another thing that can help you as well is within Lightspeed, there is the ability to import flat rates. So your warranty flat rate guides, we have worked with a number of manufacturers to get those. We would love to work with more, but if you have those in a file format, those can be imported within Lightspeed. And that then helps your service writer and your technicians as they are processing, as you're working on those warranty claims, to be able to have the right labor codes and to ensure that you are getting all of the labor and time that is appropriate for that job or those repairs that you are doing. So again, flat rates is a great way to be able to help, fill or plug some of those holes that might otherwise be there. Also, the mobile app. So Lightspeed has a mobile app. Hopefully you're using it if you're a Lightspeed dealer online with us. But that then allows your service writers as well as your technicians to manage that repair process. And so the service writer has ability to do a walk around initially. They can snap photos with that, add that to that warranty job. And then that way that information is there not just for your technicians, but then also for reference later when processing the warranty. During the repair process, the technician also has that ability to snap pictures and even take video to go ahead and add that to the job and the warranty claim for later reference or submission to the manufacturers. So again, the mobile app is a great time saver as well as a key tool within the dealership for processing warranty claims. And then finally, doing a regular review of your accounting setups. And I would say this would be something you could do on an annual basis, unless you're adding a new line to the dealership. But doing that review with your accounting department and going through with your controller or accounting team to ensure that you are accounting for those warranty payments, that the credits or write-offs are being processed correctly, so that when the dealer meetings happen, the dealership or the dealer principal or service manager has that information to be able to take to the manufacturer for a conversation to happen. So that is something that is, key and critical to happen, at least on an annual basis as well. So I would encourage you to do those pieces. But again, these are the keys that I see to, success when it comes to warranty claims and warranty claim tracking. Finally, as we look at some of the other opportunities, warranty reporting. So within Lightspeed, we do provide you some canned reports. Hopefully you're using them. And if you're not, this is a great opportunity to visit these. So when you go into your Lightspeed instance, you can go to service, down to custom reports, and then here within the service warranty claim reporting, you will see these reports that start with 600. So these are canned reports that we have provided you. You can actually copy these and actually tweak them based on, certain brands or warranty companies as well. But a couple of the key items or the key reports that I like and suggest. So claims to submit, again, as part of that weekly review process that you're setting in place, making sure that all of your claims are submitted for that time period. So this report can easily be scheduled, and it can be provided to you, in that PDF format. And so that is a way that you can keep an eye on, say if you're a service manager or if you're a warranty clerk, this is a great way to be able to say, okay, hey, here's my to-do list today. Claims not paid, those that have no payments received or partial payments. So are there action items that I need to follow up with? We haven't received payment within, the last couple of weeks on a couple of claims. Do I need to reach out to the manufacturer and talk with their warranty team to make sure that we're getting those payments made? Claims and aging. This claims and aging report is a good one because, again, that then breaks it down into buckets. And so within that report, it will break it down based on what the age of those outstanding claims might be. And again, really providing you visibility into, hey, are we missing out on receiving payments for these claims? Was there a gap internally with the processing of that claim and warranty credit? Or are there additional things that we need to really dig into? So again, that claims and aging report is a good one to have on file as well. And then finally, total warranty by OEM and vendor. This is one that can be leveraged on, if you have regular meetings with your OEMs and you're looking to have some sort of a meeting and discussion around warranty claims and their payments and processing of those. This is a good one to be able to break that down by warranty vendor. Also provides some visibility around maybe which lines are more prone to warranty issues. And so this can give you some visibility there as well. So with that said, those are some of the key items that I like to recommend and suggest for warranty claims, and really trying to plug some of those holes and those opportunities for retaining and maintaining the revenue for that service department within your dealership. So we'll go on now and we'll jump into kind of shifting gears. We'll jump into parts inventory escalators. So as I thought about parts inventory escalators, I thought back to, a few years ago, there was a study done internally by our data services team, and really taking a look at some of the abilities that our parts escalators allow you to within your dealership to manage your inventories. And so really when we think about parts escalators, it really allows some of that automation that I mentioned before. When we look at automatically being able to update the costs and set the retail pricing across your entire parts inventory, it also includes the ability to set minimum retail pricing, price round, as well as escalate based on those dollar ranges. And so those are some things that can be set up on either a supplier or category level within your inventory. And really the goal and the idea behind these escalators is to maximize your profits as a dealer without sacrificing, the consumer satisfaction. And so I really like that. And as I thought back to a study that our team had done previously, this was a study done on an O-ring that was used that is used regularly on an oil change. And so as the team took a look at, this part, it had kind of jumped out at them as they were looking through some numbers and digging at things. And again, this is old, but it still is applicable today as ever. So there were multiple price points that were looked at. And as we look here on the graph down below, this O-ring, if you can picture that O-ring, there were some that were priced at, say, less than 20 cents, some that were priced at 20 cents, which is actually the MSRP. And then there were some that were listed between 21 and 49 cents in this case. And then some listed at 50 to 94 and others listed 95 cents to $1. So as we looked at that, when we look at it, just say as an MSRP, at 20 cents a piece, there were 12,000 of those O-rings sold. And that provided, say, $1,230 in gross margin dollars for the dealership. Now, when we looked at the top tier, those that came in at 95 cents to $1, and there were, roughly 12,000 units sold at that price point as well, that actually generated almost $12,000, just over $11,000 in gross margin dollars to dealerships out there in the industry. So my question to you is, which group do you want to reside in? It's easy to think that that little O-ring, that washer, that cotter pin, whatever it might be, is not really a revenue generator for the business. This can also apply for, as mentioned earlier, price rounding. And so when we think about the opportunities for additional revenue to generate that revenue for your dealership and your business, these are some ways that, even though it may seem like a minuscule amount or a small amount, a few cents here and there really adds up over time. And so I would encourage you that if you haven't already looked at your price escalators, this is a great time, with it being the end of the year, to really revisit those and see if there's opportunity for you to actually make a little bit more money. I think we would all like an extra, say 10 grand in the pocket. And this is, one example of that. So when we look at, and I'll pull over Lightspeed just to run through the basics of what that would look like. We go to parts, lists, and then we can go to suppliers. And within the supplier settings, there will be your escalator selection. Now, this is not actually Mercury, that this meat art. So in this case, this is where we can set and enable those escalators. So I would encourage you to go to your suppliers and just ensure that you have this selected and set up. Now, before going here, you also need to go and actually set up the escalators for selection within this list. And so to do so, that would be found within System, Lists, and I'm drawing a blank here, Chris.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was typing a response to one of the Q&A. What are you looking for?
No, we got it. So again,
Okay.
I was directing them to the escalators, and so actually it's under parts lists and parts escalators. So my apologies to all on board, but this is where we would go to actually take and set these up. So thank you. So when we look at this, I'll just grab one of these as an example. So looking at the suggested retail by range. So again, we mentioned that there's a couple of different ways that you can set your pricing on your inventory. Minimum retail pricing here, say at 45 cents. So again, those cotter pins, washers, small items, this is a great way to be able to ensure that you're making the most of those particular small pieces. And again, you could even set that as high as, say, 99 cents or something of that nature. Just again, another way that you can really manage or increase that revenue contribution. Now, also, there is this ability to enable your price rounding. And so within that, you can set rounding ranges. And again, this is another way you can contribute. Again, going back to that O-ring, ways you can contribute and actually bump up your pricing and that range available there. And then ultimately down here in this bottom section, based on the price range of the parts within your inventory, you're going to be able to set those ranges, and you can either escalate or de-escalate for those bigger dollar items. Again, another way to be able to manage that inventory and actually increase your revenue and profit from each item within your inventory. Now, word of caution, you do want to just ensure that you are not pricing yourself out of your market. But this is a great way to be able to do so. And this again allows that ability to automatically bump each, particular part or price within your unit within your inventory. And when we go back to the supplier record, once you have that set, again, if we say do that retail range, I can also go ahead and set that. Once that's saved, we can then even do an auto escalation so that as price books are loaded, those price books then would have that escalator applied. That pricing then gets applied to your inventory. So again, going back to the idea of having the O-ring and being able to maximize your profits for even the smallest piece within your inventory, that can be a huge revenue generator for you. And I would encourage you to revisit that, especially this time of year. It's a great opportunity to be able to manage and update those escalators based on the current market environments. Now, finally, we'll migrate over into the integrations. And so the first integration that we wanted to just spotlight today is really the access to the Mercury Easy Part EPC. So from within Lightspeed, we allow the ability to be able to link, whether that be from a parts invoice or a service repair order, to the Easy Parts EPC. Now, in doing that, that makes that connection and allows you to create a pick list within the EPC. Once that pick list is created, that can be transferred back to Lightspeed. Now, how does this fit in with our theme of finding hidden cash and plugging those holes? Two things. So one, it reduces error due to manual data entry. As good of a typer as I think I am, a lot of times as I'm transposing or retyping parts and information back into, from one system to the other, I make mistakes. And so this helps reduce that because it's actually transferring. You don't have to do that manual data entry from Easy Parts back into Lightspeed, whether that be your parts invoice or whether that be your service repair order. Also, it increases the time and the efficiency with that automatic transfer. If you've got a large repair that you're doing, you've got a large pick list. If you had to take and enter that information in manually, again, it takes a lot of time. But with the automatic transfer, it allows that quick, easy transfer of those items. The next integration we wanted to spotlight is going to be the parts ordering. And so as you create parts orders, you create your order list, you're able to generate a purchase order. And then again, similar to that EPC integration, it helps to reduce the manual data entry that would take place otherwise. Rather than having to take that purchase order and enter it into the dealer portals, you can go ahead and automatically transfer the orders from Lightspeed into those dealer portals. Again, it increases the efficiency of that automatic transfer process and allows you to reduce that time, and then ultimately the mistakes that can be made, potentially ordering the wrong parts and tying up those dollars from time to time. So again, processing the DCS purchase order, that will allow that save of the file, and this is available for Mercury and Land and Sea, as well as other vendors that you might do business with as well. And so again, one way to improve and plug some of those holes from an efficiency perspective. And then the last piece we wanted to spotlight as well is going to be the parts availability. So within the Lightspeed dealer network, you have the ability to share your parts inventory. And so if you have some obsolete inventories or you have other things, this is a great way to get some additional exposure. Because what it allows for is me as, say, dealer A, I'm looking for a particular part for a repair or for a customer. I can enter that part I can then see other dealers within the Lightspeed dealer network that have that part available. The other thing that we have available for, say, Land and Sea in this case, is the ability to see warehouse availability. And so as you're standing in front of a customer, whether that be at the parts counter or your service desk, you can take a look and be able to set proper expectations, knowing that if it's in the warehouse, you'll be able to get it at a certain time. And so again, ways to really get you some additional exposure for any obsolete inventory that you might have sitting on your shelf. It's also a great way to be able to source parts from other dealers locally, and then also be able to manage customer expectations with warehouse and inventory levels. So again, ways to be able to free up some of that cash in the obsolete inventories, as well as quickly source and take care of your customers within your market. So with that said, excuse me, we will go ahead and open it up for some Q&A. And so Chris and Christine, I don't know if there are any questions out there from the group.
There have been quite a few, and Chris has been doing a great job at answering them. I don't know, Chris, if there's a few that you think the rest of the folks online would benefit from, if you want to read some of them.
Yeah, so there were a few that briefly touched on just reporting in general. I did want to make a call out. Our custom report designer is extremely robust, and I want to say virtually anything you see within Lightspeed can be a reportable data set within your custom report schema, so to speak. There are some things that aren't available, but you know, I'd say like 95% of what exists in Lightspeed you can build a report off of. So even if you don't see a canned report that we have added that fits your exact need, you can always call our support line and make that minor adjustment. They can walk you through how to build the report. It's very straightforward. Let me look through the other questions. There was one that came up that I wasn't quite sure on, Rob. The question from Austin, will there be EPC in the RO? So our technicians can use the EPC?
So if the technician has access to the desktop terminal within the repair order, there is access there as well. And so as an example, if I pull back up a service ticket here is one of these examples. I'll grab one of these. There's a link to the EPC right within the job. And so if I go to, say, a service job here on the parts tab, this EPC lookup, this allows that same connection that can happen on a parts invoice to that.
So that might have taken care of the next question that Todd had asked. Is there a way to get the EPC button on the parts tab inside a repair order, or is it only on the parts invoice?
Yeah. So again, that same question or the same answer here is EPC is available through the parts tab on the repair order. Correct.
Another question is, how can we get set up with Merc Easy EPC?
Yeah, so if you have your Mercury login within the Lightspeed help file, there is a document that explains how to set up and make those connections. And so I would encourage you to take a look at that first. If there's any outstanding questions, encourage you to reach out to our customer support team, and they can assist with that final connection, making that connection between the Mercury EPC as well as Lightspeed.
Yeah, and I want to say our customer support line is on the last page of the slide deck. Is that right, Christine?
I think Rob included it at the end. Otherwise, you can go to our website, lightspeeddms.com, and you can find a link to our customer support team. It's there as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Another question came in. Todd had a follow-up question. He sees the button, but it's grayed out. Todd, it could either be that you didn't get the subscription and Ellis subscriptions completed, or it might be a security permission that isn't enabled for you. Rob, does that sound right? Any follow up to that?
Correct. Yeah, that does sound correct. And so I would connect with our customer support team, either, give them a call or reach out through chat, and they should be able to assist with, pointing you in the right direction there. It looks like Ken had a question in regards to the parts inventory sharing. So to answer that, we do not show dealers outside of, your own inventory. We don't show them any pricing. We just show them within the list what you might have available and then provide contact information. So pricing is not provided. So whatever agreements that you set up or whatever internal policies you may have, that is up to you and that dealership after they reach out and connect with you in regards to wanting to source that part for you from you.
Another question is, at what point does warranty claim repair order get added to the warranty claim section of Lightspeed? Does the repair order have to be cashiered before it flows there?
It's a great question. And yes, the answer is yes, that repair order does need to be cashiered in order for that warranty claim to drop into that first bucket of warranty claims waiting for processing. So once the repair order is cashiered, that then shows up in that list to be able to process.
Yeah, and just wanted to make a follow-up mention there. We have had conversations to allow for the functionality to send over the warranty claims before you cashier the repair order. So not currently available, but it is coming.
Great.
Next question, can you make a pick list on MercNet and send it to your pick list on Lightspeed? Not sure the answer on that one, Rob.
Yeah, short answer is yes. So you can make that pick list within MercNet and then be able to transmit that.
Can we attach an online platform to Lightspeed who takes care of billing and caching out for our online website? It depends. It's a pretty wide subject. If the question is revolved around e-commerce, we absolutely do have the functionality to handle e-commerce. We have a pretty comprehensive API that you can connect over to your website, and that flows over to Lightspeed. If you're looking for something else, let us know. Just type in a new question. Okay. How do we add warranty companies in the system? So if you have Lightspeed pulled up, go to System, Lists, Warranty Companies, and here you just click on the New button and enter in the fields. Awesome.
Right there.
Perfect. Yep.
Yep.
And of course, if you want to edit it, you can either double click or highlight and hit Detail at the top right, and that'll pull up the warranty company record. Okay. Follow-up question on the escalators. Would the warranty guys be able to weigh in on this? You absolutely want to loop in anyone in your accounting team whenever you're running an escalator, as it will influence some of the figures there. Yeah, especially if you're doing any cost escalators. Okay. Next one. What happens if it is not approved and has to be customer paid?
Yeah, so on that one, if there is a warranty claim that is out there that it was not approved and you do need to take that back to customer, what I would recommend typically is there is a opportunity or the ability within Lightspeed to reverse that repair order. So because that repair order has been cashiered, you would then need to uncashier that or reverse it. That then should allow, as long as nothing's been done on that warranty claim, allows that job to be opened back up. You could then make your edits, reverting that to, say, a customer pay, and then collect the funds additionally there. Let's see. Lightspeed able to be integrated with Microsoft Power Automate. I'm not familiar with that. Chris, are you familiar with that application? At this time, I would say the answer is no, the short answer. So
Yeah, it depends. I do want to say we do have our API specification document that shows all the available data sets on a read-only basis. So any information you're pulling out of Lightspeed, definitely check out that document. But in terms of then writing it back to Lightspeed, we have very limited functionality there. Hopefully that answers your question. I'm not super familiar with Power Automate as well, but I do know you can set like different profiles for macros, but in terms of the use cases, you know, not sure how much write to functionality is needed.
right. And then it looks like Robert has one last question in regards to the escalators and the setups there. So again, navigating, first setting up the escalator, we go to parts lists, and then parts escalators is where that would be found. So this is where you set up the actual escalator range that can then be selected on a supplier or a category level. So again, the key areas within when you're setting up either a new part escalator or editing an existing is setting, checking your minimum retail, also your ranges as far as your price rounding up or down, and then your ranges for escalating and what you would want to look at there. Once that is set, then back in your supplier list, you would go into the respective supplier or suppliers that you're wanting to associate that escalator setting with. You would enable the escalations, and then you would be able to select that escalator that you had set. This is also where if you want to run this automatically or have the system automatically run it when a new price book update comes out, you can do that also. And then that will automate that process of updating your inventory accordingly. Again, there are some additional details that go along with that we didn't get into today just due to time. But that is really the basis of setting up that escalation process.
Okay, another question came in. I just asked, how are we doing on time?
We're okay. We have about
Okay.
13 minutes.
Awesome. Okay. Where did the shortages go if you take them on a warranty claim? So I'm guessing you're talking about the not paid amounts. If you go back in that warranty company list and just double click on any of these records, top right of this screen will show the not paid accounts. So you just want to work with your accountant. Any values that are set in the not paid columns or fields within the warranty claim will be routed automatically to this GL account. Yeah, and the main goal is the paid amount and the not paid amount should equal the overall balance of the warranty claim. So everything should ultimately wash out against the receivable account.
That leads perfectly into the next question. So regarding the question about warranty being denied and needing to have the customer pay, you stated to reverse the RO and remove the warranty and then cashier it. What if the company agreed to pay a partial amount of the warranty? So now you want to do like a split payment.
Yeah. So, Chris, you want to take that one, or would you like me to take a stab?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I believe it's the deductible field. Rob, I'm going off some vague memory here. Does that sound right?
Yeah, there is an opportunity for you to set a deductible on a warranty claim. That might be a use of it. The other thought might be the portion that the warranty company is not going to pay. I would probably send that to a not paid account and then generate a customer pay repair order for the portion that the customer would pay, and then that would then allow us to offset revenue possibly back to that policy expense account instead at that point. That may be a way or an option that you could handle that as well. So hopefully that makes sense. I would encourage, yeah, I mean, we can reach out to our customer support team. If you reach out to them, that would be another option to talk through that process with them and come up with some best practice.
And that leads perfectly to the next question about best practices for cashiering warranty. Is it best practice to cashier before or after the warranty claim is approved and before or after the work is completed?
Yeah, so generally speaking, yes, I would complete. There's two trains of thought here. If the work is complete and the customer has picked up their boat, then at that point I would definitely cashier it, including the warranty job. Now, there are some that also don't like to cashier those warranty jobs for fear of having to go back in and edit or update the jobs with additional parts or removing parts, as well as possibly labor. So the other option that you do have, if you follow that train of thought, is to transfer the warranty job from the customer pay portions of that repair order, transfer the warranty job or jobs off to its own repair order, and you could leave it open, potentially allowing that to be updated. That also could be applicable for parts that you're still waiting for shipment, that you're still waiting to get installed, but the work is not required for the customer to take the boat and utilize it. You can transfer those jobs off, leave those outstanding special ordered parts for that warranty job on that open ticket and be able to process it at a later time. So that is another option. The only thing that doesn't happen currently is that warranty claim will not hit that warranty claims list for claims waiting to be submitted. So that would still need to be tracked through a separate report or through your estimates and repair orders list.
Okay, other question came in. What about claims that are overpaid? Does the money go in the same account? This one's a little tricky. Rob, if you want to pull up a warranty claim.
Sure.
So let's just type in something over the submitted amount. Let's do like 900. Oh, and that black box is actually covering the balance column. To put simply, you want to put the actual amount you got paid, whether it's the overage or not, in the paid column. And you'll then notice the balance showing a negative amount. You then put whatever that negative balance is in the not paid column. And what this will do is it'll set a credit entry over to the expense account for not paid. And again, that'll wash out to whatever that overage is. The main goal is always to get that balance field at a 0. If it shows a negative amount or a positive amount, it means the funds haven't fully been accounted for yet.
Right.
Okay. Don't see any outstanding questions.
Super. Well, great. Well, I think with that said, then we appreciate your participation today in our webinar and our session. If you do have questions and need a demo of the system, you can reach out. There's contact information here on screen, 800-521-0309, or you can reach out via email at lightspeed.sales@lightspeeddms.com. If you need technical support, help in adjusting some of the settings, whether it be on the escalators or warranty companies and otherwise, please feel free to reach out to our customer support team, 800-521-0339. And you can go ahead and talk with the service rep there, and they'll be able to help you and assist with that process. Again, we appreciate you joining us today. We appreciate Gina as well from the Brunswick Dealer Advantage Group, and for the opportunities that we have to work together with them. And we look forward to seeing and meeting you at some of the upcoming industry events. Thanks, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.